3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to episode 4 of Real Vets. I'm Tyson. I'm an Air Force veteran and a realtor. And that's Tony over there trying to do sign language.
I was trying to count. I can't count to 5. Tony Dayton, Army veteran, Edge Home Finance. Happy to be here with everyone today.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary. Army vet, can't count, does finance. Figure it out.
Hey, joke of the day later, Air Force.
That was an extra joke. That one. Yeah. Well, first of all, we're going to talk about the page a little bit. We want people to like and subscribe. Hopefully I get the buttons to show up underneath my fingers, his fingers. Boop, 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 boop. Yep. Like, subscribe, no matter what you're looking at us on. We're on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Apple,
MySpace.
No, we're not on MySpace.
Oh man.
I would love for MySpace to make a comeback exactly how it was before.
Someone call Tom.
I miss you coming onto your page and you have like your playlist that starts up. And
Yep.
like, remember how you used to like get the code to embed things on the page? I don't even know how to do that now. Like I have no idea. Like I don't even remember. I miss MySpace. I did not sign up for Facebook until MySpace was like a ghost town.
I think you should do a scrolling thing right now. We should look at your MySpace page right now and see what it looks like.
God, if I could find it, maybe we'll have to check that out. But yes, please like and subscribe. We're trying to build up our following base, trying to help people PCSing in and out of any base. We're outside JBLM, Joint Base Lewis Mccord. But that brings us to our first topic here, which we have titled "How You Doing?" Tony, how are you doing?
Oh, doing good.
Doing good.
I'm doing great. Yeah. The question is how you doing, right? I mean, life is good. I just completed a refinance of my own property.
Nice.
So, a little bit on topic. I've actually been able to share that with clients. I actually took a higher rate than most people would think for a rebate, right? So I kind of did a different strategy. And that strategy is because I plan on refinancing in 6 months again when, the market shifts again, I'm sure. So yeah, I mean, it was, so things are going well. Just got back from Arizona. I was playing softball down in Phoenix for the CSNSA. That was a lot of fun. Didn't do so well in men's co-ed. We took like 4th place or something. So we didn't place, but it was still a good time. So
nice. We both took a trip down south. I went down to Vegas for my yearly conference down there for a Realty One group. So that was a lot of fun. A week before the Super Bowl, and there was just a bunch of crazy Super Bowl stuff going on in Vegas. I got pictures. They got like the big like Super Bowl logo like in several spots in the city where you can go take a picture next to it and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. You could see the stadium, the sphere. I could see the sphere from my hotel, and it just had Super Bowl stuff galore all over it. That thing, the first time seeing it, that thing was pretty cool. The definition on it's pretty crazy, like how nice the pictures look on it, even though you're close to it. So it's just wild. Yeah, speaking of which, that brings us into our next topic, which is the Super Bowl. Who'd you have in the Super Bowl?
I actually had the Chiefs.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool. Just to clarify, that picture on your Facebook in a Niner jersey, you lost a bet?
I lost a bet, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those are the Seahawks 49ers bet that I placed with my my good friend Jason, and rest in peace. But yeah, so that was the lost bet. And then I did make a post at like the end because it was right when they were going into overtime. I forgot the rules had changed for overtime.
Yeah, apparently the 49ers forgot too.
Yeah, and so I wanted to so I thought that if the 49ers scored a touchdown, that the game would be over, and I would have won the squares on one of those like square gambling things, whatever. And I would have won like $400 or whatever. So I right at the end, I was like, oh, looks like I'm a 49ers fan. Let's score a touchdown. And then everybody's like, that's not going to work for you. They'd have to score a touchdown, miss the extra point, and then the Chiefs would have to get shut down if I wanted to have won. But that was because I thought it was still the sudden death if they scored a touchdown.
Yeah, and apparently that's only in the playoffs that they've changed it. From what I've been reading, it's just playoff overtime rules are different than regular season overtime rules.
Is that what it is?
I think that's why the players get so confused, is because
I still wish they'd just go to the college football rules. I think that's the best way to do it. You start at the 20-yard line and you try to score and you keep going until someone wins.
There's a lot of things in college that I think makes sense.
Yeah.
The 1 foot in bounds rule when you're catching a pass versus 2 in the NFL. I don't know. I mean, I'd be fine with 1 foot, tell you the truth. I mean, these guys are doing these incredible like catches. They're putting their bodies on the line. They get 1 toe in and it doesn't count. I'm like, come on, man. Really? It's football. Get over it. Yeah. There's just certain rules in the NFL that I'm just like, that's the worst rule. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I believe it's in college ball. The pass interference rules are different in college. Yeah. So if the defender sees that the QB's thrown a bomb and it's going to get caught and they're going to get like 45 yards or something like that. And in the NFL, he doesn't want to mess up because if he does pass interference, they get the ball where he messes up. But in college, it's just a 15-yard penalty. So it almost behooves the defender to get the penalty because he's only giving them 15 instead of giving. It doesn't make any sense. It's like a smart guy is going to manipulate that. And
wait,
I was like,
I thought behoove was an Army word. Is that across all branches? Yeah.
I almost thought it was a little too technical for the Army.
Yeah, pass interference rule sucks in college football. I don't like it.
No, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't, because it's like, I just don't. It just drives me nuts. Me nuts. So, but yeah. Let's see here. That brings us.
Well, I think we were remiss if we didn't say our heart goes out with the tragedies that occurred at the parade afterwards. Our heart goes out to all those families that are affected by that. And,
it was very, very sad, and just some of the stories coming out of there is just crazy. And I mean, regardless of the fact, it just it's just a really, really dampening note on the whole environment there with them winning the Super Bowl, but just unnecessary. It's like ridiculous that. And like there were some stories about some of the players like actually helping people like get out of there and stuff, and then it's just
I saw a video of one guy that tackled one of the gunmen. I was like, yeah, get him.
Yeah, I guess they took 2 into custody.
Yeah, they got 2 into custody.
Yeah. So it's really sad stuff. Was not cool to hear about that. Our next thing though is a segment called Tidbit Tony. Tony, you got a tidbit for us about buying a house?
I actually want to do it about credit score today. So here's the tidbit about credit score. Hey guys, 35% of your credit score is an on-time monthly payment. What does that mean? That means every month you make a payment, that's 35% of your credit score. The other things that I see that affect your credit score a lot is credit card utilization, right? And the on-time payment's going to come into play here when you hold on just a second. So the on-time payment's going to come into play when I explain this part to you. So keeping your credit cards below a 30% utilization, meaning if the balance is $100 or the maximum amount you can use is $100, you want to keep your balance below $30, right? Now there is some kind of levels to it. You can go to $50 and it's just a little bit of an impact. You go to $70 and it's a big impact, right? So there's that piece. But you also, one of the most common things I hear is I'm going to walk in the store, I'm going to use my credit card, and then I'm going to walk out and pay it off. That right there is not going to help you. Okay, so because here's what's going to happen: you're going to walk in the store, and then you're going to come out and pay it off. Well, that doesn't give enough time for the credit company to report that you had a balance on your card. Therefore, your balance would remain zero from month to month because you paid it off without a balance being reported, right? So you got to pay a little bit of interest. You definitely do. So, it's just you got to keep something on. You don't need to have a bunch of credit cards. I mean, one or two can do the trick. I mean, obviously, they say that different types of credit and what you have. So, so just maintain below 30% utilization. Make sure there's always at least a little balance on there, whether it's even $10, just so it reports for something, and make that payment on time every month. No 30-day late.
And that 30% rule, like if you have 3 credit cards and they total out to $1,500, the 30% rule is 30% of the total amount of credit you have available, even if it's on different cards, right?
So the algorithm goes by card.
Oh, it's by card, so you can.
Yeah.
So it's 30% of this card, 30% of this one, and 30. I thought it was total.
Well, I think no. It's so like on Credit Karma and stuff, it shows it like a total.
It does.
But,
I think that's why I'm thinking that, because I've used it.
When I see, and I'm only going based off of what I've seen over the last 6 years. What I've seen over the last 6 years is if you don't adjust all your credit cards to 30% or below, your credit score does not go up when you've only adjusted 2 and left 1. Or maybe it goes up a little bit because the algorithm does pick that up. Maybe it goes up a little bit, but you don't get the max. Like I've seen people who jump their score 60, 70 points by paying down credit cards. So,
Cool. Okay. Well, I learned something new. What's the next thing we want to talk about? We got a joke of the day?
I don't have any jokes.
Yes,
unless I just say Air Force. Go ahead. What do you got?
Okay. Let's see. How many guns do you need for a firefight?
1, 2?
Well, it's 2. 1 for us to shoot and 1 for the United States to sell to the enemy so he can shoot us back.
Ooh.
I liked that one a little too much. You got one?
I don't have a joke, but I think I want to bring up a comedian I've been watching just grow through the ranks. He's a local guy out of Shelton, Washington. His name's Anthony Schumann. I believe his next show is in Puyallup. His next Puyallup show, anyways, is let me see here. Dang it! I gotta go back. I go back to his Facebook. Oh, I had it pulled up.
Schumann, and he's out of Shelton, Washington.
He's out of Shelton, and so on Wednesday, February 21st at 8 p.m., he'll be at the Top Gun Bar and Grill in Puyallup. Okay. So, and so 8 p.m. February 21st, comedy show. So the guy, he's a combat veteran. He's hilarious, and his thing is he just wants to be a good dad. So
that's awesome.
Good. There's a couple other headliners. It looks like he's a feature, and then there's a headliner. So be a good time.
So he has a comedy show, or does he also have a podcast?
Just a comedy show that I know of. He might have a podcast.
Okay.
But just a comedy show that I know of right now.
Speaking of combat veterans and podcasts and such, we have another podcast that has followed us, and we followed them back, and we have a lot in common, I think. This one's called the Tar and Feather Podcast. They're a bunch of really cool dudes. The main description on their podcast is 2 combat veterans with 17 years of friendship on a journey for purpose and manifest your destiny. And they are a lot of fun to listen to and talk to about the stories that they have. And they liked us and we've actually had meme wars on our Facebook pages. That was kind of fun. So I wanted to just give them a shout out, and we're going to have a link to their podcast in our description, and I'm sure they'll do the same for us. Wink, wink, wink.
Great.
And so Just a minute. Let me check something here.
Harder to do it during the day, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Well, Tony, that brings us to market temp. What's going on in the market right now?
The market temp. You know what's wild to me is like there'll be a news article that rates have gone down, and it'll be like a week out of date, right? It will. It'll be like oh, rates dropped to new lows, whatever. But like leading up till when that article is actually released, rates have done nothing but gone back up. It's funniest. It's just the funniest thing to see, you know. And it's always a day late and a dollar short. You know, I'm just like, wow. But no, you know, I think this last month hasn't been very favorable as far as, you know, your mortgage bonds go. You know, mortgage bonds are basically, they call them mortgage-backed securities. And kind of when those are doing well, rates are getting better. When those are doing worse, rates are going down, right? Followed also, the other thing we really measure off of is the 10-year treasury, right? 10-year treasury goes down, rates get better. 10-year treasury goes up, rates get worse. So it's a little bit of an opposite effect there of things we measure from. And you know, there's been some reports. You know, here's what's really wild. So the jobs report was really, it said a lot of jobs have been created, which would negatively impacted bonds, right? The week that report came out, like the next day before or the day before that report came out, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, a whole bunch of them laid thousands of people off, right? And so it was kind of interesting to just kind of see how this is going to play out. So, I mean, the next jobs report will be next month, right? So, hopefully, probably in March, those numbers will reflect, and we'll reflect, and we'll see it in our mortgage bonds. You know, so you know, and then of course they got a CPI report, which is the Fed's favorite measure of inflation, right? CPI, the inflation numbers kind of came in a little hotter. They rose a little bit this month or last month, and same with the PPI, which is another measure of inflation. So without, at least without energy and food or something like that. But so those inflation reports came out a little bit hotter, causing us, you know, some strain in the market as far as mortgage bonds go. So, you know, I think as far as in this now, when rates do this, it also kind of compels the market, right? So, like, if you saw 10 offers on a home last week or 2 weeks ago because of the rate drop, right? Well, this week you might not see that 10 offers on the same house. This week you might only see 2, which is still making it a market to buy it because of this. You know, so it's just interesting to me to see it kind of not flow one way or another yet, you know. So it's really kind of just hung to this, you know.
Yeah. And on my end on that, I mean, I've been seeing more houses hit the market, people selling. I have seen a bit of an uptick in inquiries for buyers, wanting to talk to somebody and kind of see what's going on in the market, see if they should get pre-approved. And I have a couple listings, and I have seen an uptick in showings on them too, like walkthroughs, people calling interested. And so that's been really interesting and kind of hopeful that we're still keeping a busy market going. I think the last house I offered on, there was a multiple offer situation. And so we're seeing that kind of stick around a little bit longer. I think if we see another actual rate drop, it's going to get busy. And so I think the people buying or trying to buy right now are still ahead of the curve in regards to, I think they're going to be in a better situation than the people that wait till the frenzy happens. And then they're having to do things with their offers to compete. That might not be so favorable for them, but it gets them in the house. So the people that buy now and then just keep their credit good and hopefully, depending on the market, refi in a little over 6 months, are going to be in a better situation than the people that wait for the feeding frenzy. Because then that's when, instead of trying to go under asking a little bit, that's when you're having to go over asking a little bit, trying to tighten things up to try to win the day. And we do what we have to do based off the house and if there's other offers, but we try to tell people about that to hopefully help them out in the future. So,
And I mean, we're still seeing. I feel like the way we do it with our, like our VA loans, like right now, like I still feel like 15K in seller paid closing costs without offering above is still very, very attainable out there.
Yeah, and a lot of it's educating people on the benefit of, because you'll have the people that want to offer less and then also ask for closing costs, and it's explaining that you're going down twice, because anytime you ask for closing costs, so people that are needing like 3% or 15K in closing costs to pay their closing costs and buy their rate down, you have a shot at asking and doing that, but you need to realize that when you're asking for a credit, you are subtracting from your offer price.
Yeah.
You're subtracting from what the seller takes home. And once we get that across to people and they start to see, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. We don't want to, if we want a shot at buying the house, especially if there's competition. If you find out there's another offer on the table, it changes that whole thought process on how to go about doing that. Then you start thinking about, oh, do I need to go over asking by the amounts I need in closing costs to keep my offer competitive? So there's,
and I think you and I, we got a pretty good grasp on what homes will do that. Like, we see a 3-bay freaking 2-story shop and we're like, oh, that one probably going to sell quick, versus the one that's got a single car garage, because it's just not, I mean, it's just, that's the one thing I've noticed is anything with a big shop, people are all over right now.
Yeah, I've got 3 buyers right now. They're just like, oh, I want this. I want a 3-bed, at least 1.5 bath on an acre, but it's got to have a shop and not just a garage. I want a shop separate. And that's so hard to come by right now because they get scooped up. And I mean, I've got a detached garage with a little shop in it and I love it. So I totally understand. And it's expensive to build one. So when you can find a house that already has one, it's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
yeah, well, I think that's pretty good there. But the next thing we got is random military stuff. This is a new topic. And we were talking about it. And when I went to the event in Vegas, when you go to these conferences, you come up with some sort of a handout thing that makes you stand out. Because everyone's got paper business cards. They stick them in their pocket. They get folded up, whatever else. So I actually had challenge coins made, metal challenge coins. And the topic for today is, what is a challenge coin? What does it have to do with the military? What's it all about? And from my research, it originates from Germany, the German soldiers. And basically, most soldiers, airmen, sailors are given a challenge coin, or they get a challenge coin, whether they meet a general that's handing them out, or they're a part of an operation or something like that, where the base makes a challenge coin and you can get one that talks about it. You carry your coin on you and you go to the bar and you can pull your coin out and slam it down on the table and put a challenge out there, say, hey, everybody got their coin on them? And everyone has to bring out their coin and slap it down. And if you don't have your coin on you, you got to buy the drinks. But if everyone has their coin, the person that challenged originally has to buy the drinks. And so that's kind of a fun little thing. I know lots of people that have a collection of these. But
oh yeah, I know a lot of people take a lot of pride in it.
Yeah, I love the challenge coins. But because when you leave the military, you leave, you get some benefit, but you leave with your memories of it and all the stuff you did. And these are just a cool token that you can. Usually we have a coin rack. You can display them and you can go look at them and be like, oh yeah, that and that, it's so I love seeing mine. I have a rack at home where they're lined up and everything, and I've talked to people about them and stuff like that. But that was the inspiration behind this, because most people aren't going to throw something like this away. So it's a lot of fun. In fact, we will be making a Real Vets challenge coin which is going to be pretty cool. We'll have that on future episodes once we have it made. This is the first time he's hearing about this too. So
No, I'm loving it. Hey, but we can't be handing them out like you did your challenge coin. These ones, we want to see something. We want to see something. You know what I mean? I've got some for 9 as well. I think I got 10 of them, and I've handed out one, I believe. And so I want to see someone in the community, making a difference for veterans. Some kind of, just some kind of. Something outside of themselves, and if I notice that, that's when I want to coin them, so
they're special. They're special. They hold weight. They've got a bit of a meaning behind them. And it's a really fun conversation piece. And it's a great way to connect with somebody. Firemen, first responders have these too. That's like the secondary group that I could think of that does challenge coins. Police officers, firemen, first responders. I had one, because typically when somebody gives you a challenge coin, if you have one, you give them one back. It's kind of a trading of coins. Only one person did that at the whole event, and he was formerly a police officer in Kansas City. So he handed me a Kansas City police officer's challenge coin, like he had it on him. And so, and there was only one, and I had 100 of these. I only have like 10 left. So, it was really cool because it caught me off guard because I didn't expect anyone else to have one. So, yeah.
I got one from the Secretary of Defense a couple years back.
Yeah.
So the old SecDef. I suppose that'd be the highest ranking one I have.
Yeah, I think I got one from when you're in the Air Force and you graduate from basic training, you get your airman's coin. It's a part of the graduation ceremony. They give you a coin. Yeah. And but I got one from who's the guy in charge of the Air Force? The general or whatever. The Army has one too. The chief of staff of the Air Force, I think is what it was. I got a coin from him, which was pretty cool. He actually came to Shepherd Air Force Base, and I met him in the cafeteria when he was touring it. So that was pretty cool. But and these are just things you just keep with you for a long time. So, yeah. But I think that's all for today. Next episode we'll probably do it next week. We're gonna come up with a topic for it. If there's a topic somebody wants to hear about, a certain loan type, just anything really, message us on YouTube, message us on TikTok, Facebook, whatever you like to use. We get them, and we would be more than happy to do a shout out and talk about the topic you want us to talk about. But yeah, I think that's it for today. So like and subscribe, please. We're trying to grow this sucker, and tune in for the next episode.
I'll see you next week.